Radio Show, the show about our exciting Pacific West Conference. The Pac-West is made up of NCAA Division II universities from Arizona and Utah to California and Hawaii. It's the most beautiful and diverse athletic conference in the entire NCAA. This is Commissioner Bob Hogue, inviting you to join our outstanding coaches, student-athletes, and administrators as we talk about the great excitement in the Pac-West. Now here's Assistant Commissioner Tom DiCamillo, live from our studios in Santan, Arizona.
We are live in the Santan Valley. Tom DiCamillo, Joe Carrero. This is Pac-West Radio. And today is the final of the 3 media days that we're doing, and it's Men's Soccer Media Day, the announcement of the preseason all-conference team, predicted order of finish. And then we'll talk with some of the coaches of the Pac-West, Mike Keller from Art U, Fresno Pacific's Jamie Ramirez, Chaminade's Marcus Chambers, Holy Name's Jovan Yamagishi, and NDNU's BJ Noble will join us today to talk about men's soccer. Let's get right to it because we have a full show today. First, we're going to start with the predicted order of finish and for the Pac-West. And the coaches of the Pac-West vote on the predicted order of finish. First of all, the team picked to win the conference championship this year is California Baptist University. Lancers had 160 points and 7 first-place votes. Fresno Pacific second with 157 points. 5 first-place votes. NDNU, Notre Dame de Namur University, picked to finish third. They had 1 first-place vote. Azusa Pacific fourth with 130 points. Hawaii Pacific fifth. Dominican sixth. BYU Hawaii seventh. Dixie State eighth. Hawaii Hilo ninth. Holy Names 10th. Point Loma 11th. Academy of Art 12th. And Chaminade 13th. So California Baptist is picked to win the conference championship. Fresno Pacific number 2, NDNU 3, Azusa Pacific 4, HPU 5, Dominican 6, BYU Hawaii 7th, Dixie State 8th, Hawaii Hilo 9th, Holy Names 10th, Point Loma 11th, Academy of Art 12th, and Chaminade 13th. The preseason all-conference team forwards. And it's kind of ironic. Every player's first name begins with the letter of A. The forwards are Alex Anderson from California Baptist University, a senior out of Palmdale, California. Armando Garcia out of Notre Dame de Namur from Redwood City, California. Alvaro Nogales from Fresno Pacific from Spain. And Alejandro Porras from Hawaii Pacific, also from Spain. So those are your forwards. Your midfielders, Octay Bulut from Azusa Pacific from Germany. Jonathan Fausto from California Baptist from Temecula, California. Jesus Gonzalez from NDNU, Notre Dame de Namur University, from Santa Barbara, California. And then Gustavo Silva from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And those are your 4 midfielders. Your defenders, Tyler Mattis from NDNU. He's out of Honolulu. Ivan Marikovic from Fresno Pacific from Serbia. And Paul Oliver from California Baptist out of Overland Park, Kansas. So those are your defenders. Your preseason goalkeeper of the year and preseason all-conference goalkeeper of the year, Joey Pacheco out of California Baptist from Riverside, California. And your preseason player of the year from Fresno Pacific, from Malaga, Spain, Alvaro Nogales. And he is your preseason player of the year. And now I believe we have Mike Keller on the line from Academy of Art University. And Mike, welcome to Pac-West Radio and the Men's Soccer Media Day.
Hey, thanks very much for having me.
So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about Academy of Art and the season coming up and what you expect from the Urban Knights.
You know, we're just building every day. We're expecting, hoping to make a big impact this year, hoping to have a big turnaround, to be honest. But as you know, listening to you read off those names, the conference is very tough. It's going to be a good challenge for the guys.
This conference has really grown in soccer since soccer was implemented in the conference about 7 years ago, and now with these number of teams, 13 teams, it's on any given day, anybody can beat anybody in this conference. Isn't that true?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parity. In D2 there's a lot of parity, but within the conference, I think you go down the schedule, every game's a tough one. I think there's a lot of tough teams. We sent 2 teams to the playoffs last year. I think there'll be a lot of teams fighting for a position and knocking each other off.
What's for Academy of Art, talk about some of the players that are going to make an impact for you this year.
Sure, there's a really good returning core from the last couple of years. Aaron Eckberg, left-sided guy for us, has been good in the past. Christoph Urbani is, a sophomore who's going to expand his role a bit this year as well. And I think it's more of a team thing for our guys. A lot of core returners from the last couple of years. I think they really want to grow and have a little more impact in the conference.
Talk about your schedule coming up. Being in the Pac West, you obviously have the schools. Their locations are scattered from Hawaii throughout northern Southern California, and then over into Utah with Dixie State. For Division II conference, there's a lot of travel, a lot of factors that come into play. As a coach, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, well, obviously, it's tough. I mean, especially with the academics and things like that. It's got to be pretty balanced for the guys. They got to know what comes first as far as their academics and taking care of themselves. But also, I think you gotta be smart with the guys and train them in the right way, and know when you push them, know when you can't, and have them mentally prepared, balance-wise for their own life, so they can enjoy it. I think you get a lot more out of them that way for sure. And I think the travel is kind of a good thing. It's a good challenge for the guys. It's a good way for them to get out of their comfort zone a little bit, expand their own personalities, and challenge themselves to be better as a person. Just life preparation. That's what we're all about. But I think it's a lot of fun. The Hawaii trip is obviously a big opportunity and a big challenge. Going to Dixie is tough. Going to Southern California is tough. Coming to the Bay Area is hopefully tough, and playing in the fog. So could be a real challenge, but also a real opportunity for the guys to see some places, but also play some good opponents.
We had Colin Preston on back earlier in the summer, and he talked about, for the Academy of Art student athlete, because of the nature of the school, the opportunity to go to Hawaii or go to some of these places, even playing in games in Alaska or playing up in the Northwest. The students, especially those of the art students that have an opportunity to design or draw or to do photography, all the different. It really is sort of like a mobile education, being able to play athletics, but then their classroom kind of goes with them.
Oh yeah, road trips are a lot of fun with our guys. They always got their camera phone, their video cameras. I remember when I was assistant 4 years ago, we went on the Hawaii trip, and guys were doing graphic design projects on volcanoes. Guys were doing photography projects at the beach in the morning, and that was actually schoolwork for them. So it is a lot of fun on road trips. Guys come out and do documentaries at trainings and things like that. They interview each other after games. I think the way you put it is really true. You go on road trips with these guys, and the schoolwork is fun for them. They enjoy what they're doing, and they get to do it, on the bus, on the van, at the restaurant. They could do it wherever we are at that time. So it is a real opportunity. And the artist thing, maybe they see something that inspires them a little bit, and they start taking up a school project right then and there. So it is a lot of fun being out on the road with these guys, because they'll pull their iPhone out and start doing something for school right then and there. It's a lot of fun to be around.
Mike, you said when you were an assistant coach and you looked at the kind of the program over the years, and you look at the expansion of the Pac West. Academy of Art came in, then you had Dominican, NDNU was in that area. You bring in Holy Names. Is it really nice to have that sort of Bay Area rivalry to gear up for, to have four schools, and then Fresno Pacific's not that far away? But does that really make it interesting to play those games?
Oh yeah, me personally, I really enjoy all that stuff. Having a local rival and games where you can get a lot of people out to, and the friends and family. It's easy for them to drive half an hour down to Notre Dame and Belmont and play them. Drive half an hour up to Dominican, play them. Drive half an hour, play Holy Names. I like good atmosphere. I think that's important for the guys. So I think those things are a lot of fun. And Fresno, like you said, is a top team, and they're only 3 hours away. You go out there, play them at night. They got a lot of fans. I think that makes the conference that much better. It's better to have the pods and have people playing each other regularly, and makes it competitive. If somebody's 20 minutes away, you want to beat them. I personally enjoy a lot of that stuff. I know the guys get up for it, so I think that's a great way to have the conference laid out.
Well, Mike, we wish you the best of luck this year. Tell the listeners, who do you guys open up with?
Humboldt State at home. So could be interesting. We got a couple CCAA opponents to open up the season, and then we start ramping up for Pac West. And
it's great to have those regional rivalries, those regional games early on, because they have big impacts, almost as much as the conference schedule does on your league championship. So we wish you the best of luck this year. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later in the season.
Thanks, Tom. Take care.
Thanks. Mike Keller, head coach, Academy of Art University. Now joining us here in a minute, Jamie Ramirez from Fresno Pacific University. And Fresno Pacific picked to finish second in the conference, 157 points, 5 of the 13 first-place votes. Fresno Pacific, Alvaro Nogales is the preseason player of the year. Ivan Mirakovic is a preseason all-conference defender.
This is Jaime.
And then joining us, Jamie, welcome to Pac West Radio.
That would be Jaime.
Jaime, welcome to Pac West Radio. Sorry about that. Jaime, listen.
That's
I actually have a friend named Jaime, and he always tells me, no, just call me Jamie, and he spells it the same way. So...
that's all right. Get a lot of that around here too.
So, Jaime, let's talk a little bit about obviously Fresno Pacific picked to finish second in the conference, but let's talk a little bit about the preseason player of the year, Nogales, out of Spain. He's a sophomore forward. What makes him so special?
Well, he's got a lot of good qualities. Hard work ethic, very technical on the ball. He's a lefty, and those are difficult to defend for defenders because most defenders are used to looking at right-footed players. And when you're used to looking at a right-footed player, defenders are used to going to their left a lot in terms of defending, opening up their bodies, etc. And since he goes to his left, the defender's right, that's a little bit tougher, I think. That becomes a little bit tougher, and his strength, his ability to carry the ball tight, be able to work in tight spaces, and a tremendous shot, well placed with, actually with either feet. I mean, he's very good with both. I just think he has a knack for the goal, and I've been pleased with him. I'm impressed. He's hardworking, one of our team leaders this year. I think he's taking it upon himself to come even better prepared at training camp. I think last year, obviously being new to the conference and to a lot of the teams that didn't know us, I feel like everyone perhaps was keen on Islas, and even though they knew him, he still was able to create a lot of problems for teams. But certainly the biggest surprise, and to me it was no surprise, but I think to the conference and our opponents was Nogales.
We're visiting with Jaime Ramirez, the head coach of Fresno Pacific University. I want to go back to something you said about Nogales' ability being a left-footed player, and you said that a lot of the players tend to, on right-footed players, go to their left. When they have to play a left-footed player, is the reaction time slower? And then you said he's got such a great strength about him. Is that what makes him so dangerous? Because it's almost like they're used to going to their left, not used to seeing what they're seeing coming at them, and now the reaction time goes slower, and he takes advantage of it.
Well, for those of us that study this thing, somewhat, scientifically, we understand that most of the kids that play the game in athletics, they're right-footed, right-handed, and so there's tendencies there that you rehearse over and over and over and over again. When you're asked to go in a different direction, it takes that split-second message being sent, from the brain to the body to respond, and when you're not accustomed to it, it takes time. It's a split second, and it is a game of split seconds and inches, etc. Whatever cliche we want to use there. And Nogales is brilliant at reading defenders and being able to take advantage of that. He's got a wonderful stutter step that I think freezes defenders a little bit, and even if they're already opened up with their hips to their right side, which is not comfortable for them sometimes. Even though as a right-footed player you can slide tackle from left to right, being able to make that turn, that immediate turn from left to right, is what I think becomes the challenge for some kids, because most of right-footed players are brilliant at turning from right to left, and running immediately. And so I think that's a huge advantage to him, and I'm not giving away any secrets to anyone that knows anything about the game here. I'm just saying that my take on this kind of thing is that sometimes when you have skill, when you have ability, it doesn't matter if the defender knows what you're going to do. It's the fact that the defender doesn't know when you're going to do it. That's the key. And so crafty players have the ability to go in either direction. But in this case, to have a crafty, big body, mobile, left-footed player like Nogales is it's a nightmare for defenders.
Talk a little bit about Jaime. Talk a little bit about Gustavo Silva and Ivan Mirkovic, two preseason all-conference players, and what they bring to the Fresno Pacific team.
Well, Gustavo is one of our seniors. He, came to us 4 years ago. A very raw, skillful player. Many people don't know that Gustavo was a futsal player most of his life. I believe it wasn't until 18 years old that he actually played competitively and in an organized fashion outdoor soccer. And if you're familiar with futsal, it's indoor soccer with a low bounce ball that the South Americans practice year-round pretty much from the youth on up even to the professionals. Many wonderful professionals have grown up playing futsal, and so what Silva brings to this experience is that he's got a very quick ability to handle the ball and turn defenders around, and he's got better than average speed, strong on the ball as well. He's a right-footed player that can hammer a ball with his right foot, but he's become a bit of an assist player for us, to where he takes both flanks, the right and the left, and he's able to bring the ball across because he turns defenders around. And I think that's a virtue that he has that I'm trying to instill in our community youth programs here, that futsal is a way to develop individual technique. I have to say that on the ball, he's arguably the best player in our conference.
Oh, great. Well, Jaime, we wish you the best of luck on the upcoming season with Fresno Pacific. It's going to be a real battle, and we appreciate the time, and it'll be really interesting to see how the season plays out.
Absolutely. I appreciate the time.
All right, Jaime Ramirez, the head coach of Fresno Pacific University, 5 first-place votes, 3 players on the preseason all-conference team, 157 points, just 3 points below California Baptist, but it's going to be a real battle this year. Fresno Pacific, terrific team, and it's going to be very interesting how the conference plays out. We're going to jump to Chaminade University of Honolulu. Marcus Chambers, the head coach out at Chaminade.
Athletics, this is Kevin.
Kevin, it's Tom DiCamillo. Welcome to Pac West Radio. Looking for Marcus Chambers.
Hi. Yeah, I got Marcus right here.
Great.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Hang on, Tom. I'm going to go. Hello?
Marcus, welcome to Pac West Radio.
Thank you.
Men's Soccer Media Day here. So, Marcus, tell us a little bit about the Chaminade men's soccer team this year and what we can expect from the Silver Swords.
Basically this year, I recently just took over. I've got a lot of boys that are very raw, but very athletic and very hardworking. Some of them have developed some bad habits over the years, but we're kind of refining those right now. And day by day, at every single practice, they look a little bit sharper. They look a little bit better, and it's exciting watching these boys just grow over the last 2 weeks.
Well, what's the biggest challenge of coming in, taking over a new program, especially like Chaminade? What's the biggest challenge that you have to face? Is it recruiting and not being able to recruit that first year? Or is it just kind of everything, pulling it together?
Most of it's really recruiting. I mean, my recruitment budget isn't that big. It's the tuition here at the private schools rather high, and of course most decent players want to go to a winning program. And in the past, we haven't had the most winning of programs, but it's tough, and I've just got to do the best with what's given to me. And it was hard this year because I got hired rather late. I did get a couple boys, and they are strong players, and they've made an impact over the last couple of weeks. And even the players from last year say we've got a better team than we did last year.
Is that the biggest challenge, too, when you come to a program that maybe has suffered, has not experienced that success, is you change the culture? Is that the first thing you try to do, to say, hey, we're going to be competitive in every game, we got a shot in every game?
The boys realize we have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
The boys knew that last year they were in a lot of the games. They're losing 2-1 in the 85th minute. They were in a lot of the games last year, and the demeanor on the field's been a lot more positive. They feel that they actually have a chance of moving up in the statistics this year.
You saw that. I saw a lot of that last year. There were a lot of games that was just on the cusp of, let's put it this way, a lot of teams maybe thought that they were going to walk in and take easy wins, but you guys gave them a heck of a game, and it was interesting to see, because the games could have gone either way, like you said, right down to the end.
Right, and I think a lot of people this year might have the same feeling of they're just going to come in and walk over these boys, but I can tell you that that's not going to be the case this year.
It's talk about some of the players that are going to have an impact on your team this year.
First and foremost, there's Sam Galloway. He's been a real influence, especially to the younger players. Very positive role model on and off the field, in the classroom, as well on the field. This is his senior year, and you can tell just from even his off time, he's been working to want to make an impact on the field, and he shows it. I mean, he's a person that he's a leader, and he leads by example.
Sam's one of the better players in the conference. I noticed last year. I mean, he was. It seemed like he was sort of the go-to guy for Chaminade last season, and just had a really strong season. Marcus, we wish you the best of luck. Who do you guys open up with?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you there.
Who do you guys open up with this year?
We open up with a friendly game against HPU. So
it's a non-conference game that you guys are going to get against your local rivals. Right off the bat. So, Marcus, we appreciate. Welcome to the Pac West. We wish you the best of luck this year, and it'll be exciting to see Chaminade play and how the Silver Swords do this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it myself. Marcus
Chambers, head coach of Chaminade, new head coach of Chaminade University of Honolulu and the Silver Swords, and joining us now, Javon Yamagishi from Holy Names University, and then B.J. Noble will be up from NDNU. Will join us right after that. And again, as Joe calls up our next guest, a reminder: Alvaro Nogales was the preseason player of the year. Joey Pacheco was the goalkeeper of the year. Javon Yamagishi has joined us from Holy Names. Welcome to Pac West Radio.
All right. Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about Holy Names University and the soccer program this year. What can we expect to see from the Hawks, and who are some of the top players that people should keep an eye on?
Sure. I can say, continuing on from last year, we have a strong base of players returning. Some of them are international players coming from Argentina, Croatia, and so forth. And we've got a great mix also of players locally that are returning. So I think that you'll be able to see some of what we're building on with the possession style of game. And also, we like to play quick. So a lot of our soccer is really based on individual decision making. So we really push for a free style of game. So I think you'll see more organization for us defensively than on the attack.
When you
in terms of
no,
in
go ahead.
Of our players, I can say that our striker up front, Jaime Phillips from Argentina, he's definitely back and looks good to go. He looks sharp, and we feel that he's more of a threat now than he used to be now that he's got 1 year under his belt. We also have Jesse Guerrero, who plays central midfield for us. He's our captain, and he's basically the heart and soul of the team, and he really dictates how the players feel when they're pursuing a game.
How is it? You guys are basically the new kids on the block. How is it like that first year, last year, playing in the Pac West? Does it make it easier for you as a coach? Not that the competition's easier, because the competition is really strong, but does it really give you, once you've kind of done that circuit, you've made the kind of rounds to the other schools, you see the competition, does it give you a little bit more of a comfort zone to say, okay, now I kind of know what to expect. I know what the competition's like. I know what the travel's like. And I don't have to worry about that. I got my hands wrapped around it. Does that make it easier for you to focus on the planning and the practice and the games?
Definitely. As a coach, it's night and day. Last year everything was new to me, and this year, I can approach this role and this season with the mindset of being fully ready to go. I think it's more impactful on the players. I feel that because we play such a free style of game, I think that it's a lot important for the players to be comfortable on the pitch, and I think you'll be able to see that on the field this season compared to last year.
Oh. Javon, who do you guys open up with?
Our Pac West game, or are you talking about non-conference?
Non-conference. Who do you guys start next week?
Well, we start off our season official game with Cal Poly Pomona.
And it's great to get those regional. You're getting a real taste of you guys aren't eligible yet for the NCAA tournament, but down the line, those preseason games are pre-conference games are really going to be important. And California soccer is pretty good all the way around. So you guys are getting a real indoctrination into what it's going to be like when you're eligible for postseason.
Exactly. We're definitely looking forward to the competition. After experiencing last year, I think everybody here at Holy Names, we understand what the competition is like within Pac West, and so for that reason, we've done our very best to schedule teams outside of our conference that are just as competitive, that would prepare us well for the season.
Well, Javon, we wish you the best of luck with your season this year. We look forward to seeing the Hawks and their second year in the Pac West.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to the challenge ahead, and looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Thank you.
Good luck, Javon Yamagishi from Holy Names University, the head coach. And then we're going to wrap up here with B.J. Noble from Notre Dame Dana Murray University. B.J., longtime coach in the conference, and a trio of preseason all-conference players in Armando Garcia at forward, Jesus Gonzalez as a midfielder, and Tyler Mattis as a defender, and a real strong core for the Argonauts as they begin their season and have a quest for postseason and also a conference title. They received one first-place vote. And welcome, BJ, welcome to Pac West Radio.
Okay. Yeah, you actually called me on the cell phone, so if I lose you, I requested to be called on the...
Do you want us? Are we good? We can hear you great. Are you good? Can you hear us fine? Or we can switch it over?
Yeah, I can hear you. Then okay, we'll go with it.
All right. BJ, when you look at the preseason all-conference team and you look at NDNU having Armando Garcia, Jesus Gonzalez, and Tyler Mattis, forward, a midfielder, and defender, that really gives you a strong core right down through the center of the field there. Is that how you see it, that you really have a strong team coming back this year?
We feel our team could be strong. Right now it's early. We're fortunate that we do return quite a few players, and we feel that we have a recruiting class that, could actually compete with it. It just comes down to, are they going to, bring it all together and gel as a group?
Talk about a little bit about what if someone comes to you and says, "What's NDNU men's soccer?" about. How would you describe it to people that aren't familiar with the program, or describing it to parents maybe of a recruit? How would you describe NDNU men's soccer?
NDNU men's soccer is essentially it's very family oriented. It's very a group environment. We have great leadership every year. We really sell it to the family, and more so to the Hispanics. It's much like their culture and so forth. It's definitely a culture that, you're going to come in, you're going to work hard, you're going to compete every day, and, the best 11 players are going to play. It's not necessarily, the overall, you might have one kid that's more technical, but is he really part of the top 11? You're going to be able to compete, and we're going to find a place. If we have 3 center midfielders who are exceptionally good, well, we play a 4-4-2. Well, one of them is going to have to play somewhere else, and so we preach that if you come in and compete and you take care of business, that we'll find a spot for you, and you'll find your role in the team.
Talk a little bit about Armando Garcia, 3-time All-Pac West selection. In 2010, he was the Freshman of the Year. Strong player, one of the top players in the conference. Tell fans that are listening what makes him so special.
He comes to work every day. There's always something new that he tends to conquer. He's strong, he's physical, and then he's exceptionally well on the ball. He does a lot of things that you just can't teach, and he has those little intangibles. And he's just a great teammate. He's a great leader on and off the field, and he's very well respected, I believe, naturally on our team, but also across the conference and in the West region.
And you've been in the conference for a while, and you've seen the conference grow in the number of teams, and even though Grand Canyon has left the conference, and it was a very strong, obviously, men's soccer program, Pac West men's soccer has got to be at its strongest point ever this year, because it seems like anybody can beat anybody. Would you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel with all the new additions and then the younger teams in the conference really having stepped it up and got a little bit of recruiting under their belt and just kind of understanding the landscape, I feel that at the bottom, you could drop a point or drop 3 points any time that you go out and step on the field. I believe last year, our record against the CCAA was very, very good, and they've always been the dominant conference. But now I think, we're on the even playing field, and we're just, we're getting better each day and each year, and this year is going to be, a bloodfest, and. I know that Mike and Jaime and they all hit it on the head, as well as Johan, is that, it just depends on who you get and a little bit of luck, and somebody's playing exceptionally well or somebody's playing poor, it could be anybody's game.
Is it, as a coach, when you look at the conference the way it is now, do you have to preach that you can't take a night off when playing a conference game anymore, no matter who it was? Because, when it first starts, there was a big disparity in the conference from the top to the bottom. But now, is that something you have to preach and have to guard against as a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at our past, we've done quite well against some of the better teams. It's the teams, the up and comers, that we struggle with. So, we teach that every day. Going over to Chaminade, playing up on the hill in the wind, and them getting better is tough. Going to BYU and playing in their surface and so forth is very tough. Then you go down south, and the teams are just extremely well coached, and it's tough to break them down. And then with Fresno, they're very dynamic. I mean, all across the board. And here in the Bay Area, it's just it's kind of like it's just built-in, rivalries within, even though it's so fairly young. But it's just very, very tough to go anywhere and win. You got to try and hold serve at home, and then try and get a point when you're on the road.
When you look at like Division II conferences and you look at the travel, the size of it, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference where I was from, the NE10, a lot of the conferences, you go from school to school, and they're geographically maybe 8 hours apart, but it's basically the same. The players are similar. The recruiting comes from the same area. Is what makes the Pac West unique is that it's so diverse in its location, so diverse in its recruiting base, that do you get different segments at different, from Southern California to Hawaii to where you guys are located? Is the soccer actually different at times?
I would say the soccer really, if you look across the country and then you look in our region, I would say actually in the Pac West, the soccer is more similar amongst each other, more so than the other conferences. All the coaches in our conference like to play, whereas some of the other conferences, it's maybe more direct or more defensive or just different style players. But I think a lot of us are looking for the same player, and it's just a matter of, what is your group like on any given year. But I think essentially, we all want to try and play a little bit of the same, which it's all about matchups now. It's how do you match up against, Fresno, or how do you match up against Academy or whatever. So, because, and just listening to the other coaches and having played pretty much everyone in the West over the last 4 years, our conference is very similar in style of play. It's just a matter of who has more depth and who has those special players. But everybody's coming on, and everybody's starting to recruit and take a different approach, which is great for our conference.
BJ, who do you guys open up with?
We open up with Monterey Bay a week from today.
And is for a coach, is that first game the one you look forward to the most? I mean, obviously you have rivalries and all that, but after all the practice, are you just anxious to get that first game going so you can get out of the preseason and get it started?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the first one is huge, and we've learned that quite well over the last few years being in the mix for the NCAA tournament. I mean, our non-conference games are huge, and just as huge are our opponents in the conference non-conference games, because that's what's going to propel us and get more teams into the tournament. So us playing Monterey Bay, the East Bays and so forth early on, they're huge as far as our conference goes, and then naturally for us.
It's funny because I don't think a lot of times people think that when you have those conference games, they're the most important ones, and they are when you're going for a conference championship. But when you're in a conference that's strong, if you lost a point or tied, there's other teams in your conference that can help you out. When you play those non-conference games and you have NCAA aspirations, they're like paramount to do well in, aren't they?
Absolutely, and that's what helped us last year. I think we ended up, prior to us and Grand Canyon losing in the tournament, but I think going 12-3, I believe, against the CC2A is what got us 2 teams in. And I believe, strongly that if Fresno and Cal Baptist would have been postseason eligible last year, we could have quite possibly got 4 teams out of 6 in the tournament. So that, looking forward, shows you right there, how bright our future is in the conference.
Well, BJ, we appreciate you hanging on a little bit longer with us, and we wish you the best of luck at NDNU. We look forward to how the Argonauts do this year.
All right, thanks for having us.
BJ Noble, the head coach of Academy of Art. And just real quick, order of finish: Cal Baptist number 1, Fresno Pacific number 2, NDNU 3, Azusa Pacific 4, HPU 5, Dominican 6, BYU Hawaii 7, Dixie State 8, Hawaii Hilo 9, Holy Names 10, Point Loma 11, Academy of Art 12, Chaminade 13th. Alvaro Nogales, the preseason player of the year. Joey Pacheco, the preseason goalie of the year. And that wraps up our 3 weeks of Pac West Radio preseason media days. For Joe Carrero, I'm Tom DiCamillo. Thanks for listening to Pac West Radio on KQCK in the Santan Valley.
When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry services that will keep you and your family smiling. Our commitment to our community is to provide outstanding oral health. Hill Family Dentistry is located on 36359 Ganzell Road in Santan Valley, diagonally across from Banner Ironwood Hospital. Evening and weekend appointments available. We accept most insurances and have in-office policies available for non-insured. Contact us today at 480-588-8127. Hill Family Dentistry.
Hi, this is Daniel, your host for Rock and Roll 101, every other Sunday at 5 on KQCK.
Engine parts aren't the only things that wear out over time. Bending or reaching can leave you feeling like an old clunker. But joint pain doesn't have to slow you down. Schedule an appointment with the orthopedic specialists at Banner Ironwood Medical Center. You might just find there's a lot more mileage to be had in your knees, shoulders, elbows, or any part of your body that feels broken down. We have the specially trained staff, state-of-the-art technology, imaging, and physical therapy to get you back on the road. They're experts at diagnosing, treating, and rehabilitating joint injuries. Just call 480-394-4480 or visit bannerhealth.com/Ironwood. Banner Ironwood Medical Center is conveniently located on Ganzell Road, just south of Combs. See what a difference just a minor tune-up or a complete overhaul can do for your joint pain today by calling 480-394-4480 and get your joints back in the fast lane again.
More music 24 hours a day.
Welcome to PacWest Magazine, the radio show. The show about our exciting Pacific West Conference. The PacWest is made up of NCAA Division II universities.
Hi, Marie here for wannasing.com. Are you looking for professional DJ or karaoke services for your next holiday party or get-together? wannasing.com can provide the best in sound, lighting, and a professional MC to host your next event. Whether it be a company party, birthday party, wedding, or any occasion, wannasing.com is ready to provide the fun and make it a night to remember for years to come. Call 480-664-8801. That's 480-664-8801. Mention this radio ad and receive a special discount for your next fun event. wannasing.com.
Are you experiencing computer problems? Is your computer running slow? Bogged down with viruses and spyware? You need a reliable and knowledgeable, trustworthy computer service company. Contact Computers, Networks, and More, located in Santan Valley. Get your computer or laptop running in top condition by a certified technician with 20-plus years experience and beta tester from Microsoft. Computers, Networks, and More provides repairs and solutions to any computer-related issue, whether it's software, installation, troubleshooting, updates, or tune-ups. You can trust Computers, Networks, and More. Contact Jeff Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. to schedule an appointment. We can have you up and running quickly, usually within 48 hours. Located in Santan Valley. Computers, Networks, and More. We're here for you. Contact Jeff at 480-729-8899. That's 480-729-8899.
Welcome to the internet, my friend. How can I help you?
We're online.
All systems go!
And in your face.
Yes, you got to hold on to romance. Don't let it slide. There's a special kind of magic in the air when you find another heart that needs to share. Baby, come to me. Let me put my arms around you. This was meant to be. And I'm also glad I found you. Need you every day. Gotta have your love around me, baby. Always stay. 'Cause I can't go back to living without you.
Spending every dime to keep you talking on the line. That's how it was. And all those walks together out in any kind of weather, just because